How's everyone doing? My name's EndoPlasmite, and we are going to be playing through Pokemon LeafGreen. Now, this specific game is an actual cartridge that is being played on a device known as Epilogue. For the Episode 0 playthrough showing with Pokemon Fire Red, I kind of explain a little bit of the process for how this is going about, but the main intention for what's supposed to be taking place is I'll be trying to play through this and a whole bunch of other Pokemon-based games on this channel. It'll also hold some older-based footage that didn't used to exist on this channel, but existed on my original channel for EndoPlasmite. And we are starting a brand new game on this. So a lot of these I don't need to worry about, neither should you, because if you ever need hints to figure out how to go about things, you just push L or R. Hello there, glad to meet you. Welcome to the world of Pokemon. My name is Oak. People affectionately refer to me as the Pokemon Professor. This world is inhabited far and wide by creatures called Pokemon. For some people, Pokemon are pets. Others use them for battling. As for myself, I study Pokemon as a profession. But first, tell me a little about yourself. Now tell me, are you a boy or are you a girl? Let's begin with your name. What is it? Doing the same basic lineup / premise that I normally would do for games nowadays. Right, so your name is Endo. This is my grandson. He's been your rival since you both were babies. What was his name again? For the sake of what's going on through stuff with this, I am going to just keep things simplified. I just call you Blue. Was it Blue? That's right, I remember now. His name is Blue. Endo, your very own Pokemon legend is about to unfold. A world of dreams and adventures with Pokemon awaits. Let's go. So, before I do anything else, I'm going to save this. Yes, I know there's a different save file. We're starting completely from scratch. This is LeafGreen, this is not Fire Red. Overwrite it. There we go. So, Pokemon LeafGreen was actually the 4th Game Boy Advanced game that I obtained. First one being Fire Red, 2nd Emerald, 3rd Ruby, and 4th LeafGreen. Like with the other previous 3, this was purchased, I believe, if I remember right, through like an actual box cartridge. And at least all the games that I've got are considered legit games because they show up correctly in the epilogue. Also, I just realized I cut through all of that without actually talking. Gramps, I'm fed up with waiting. Blue? Let me think. Oh, that's right. I told you to come. Just wait. Here, Endo. There are 3 Pokemon here. Aha! The Pokemon are being held inside these Pokeballs. When I was young, I was a serious Pokemon trainer. But now, in my old age, I have only these 3 left. You can have one. Go on, choose. Hey, Gramps, no fair. What about me? Be patient, Blue. You can have one too. Now, I know this won't really get noticed too much, but probably as we go through the process of this, if anybody has a specific question that they want to ask throughout the series, or there's anything of topic they want to put in the comments, I'll most likely go through it when we actually go through the next episode. In addition to that, there'll also be any suggestions, but just keep in mind that some of those may not happen. An example for that's a Nuzlocke. I'm not doing Nuzlocks. I see, Bulbasaur is your choice. It's very easy to raise. So, Endo, you want to go with the grass Pokemon Bulbasaur? In this case with it, yes. This Pokemon is really quite energetic. That'll be another episode to explain my thoughts with Nuzlocke. I'll take this one then. But what I mean partially with suggestions is in the basis of, say you want me to keep reading through the players' dialogues, anything that you want to see me actually try to accomplish in the game itself, so on and so forth. Wait, Endo, let's check out our Pokemon. Come on, I'll take you along. I think if it's main individuals, I'll do the dialogue with, and if it's minor ones, I'll skip, like all the NPCs and such. And if it's specifically something that you guys don't want me to continue with, then I will. If you want to do all the NPCs, then yeah. For Pete's sake, so pushy as always. Endo, you never had a Pokemon battle before, have you? Pokemon battle was when trainers pit their Pokemon against each other. A trainer that makes the other trainer's Pokemon faint by lowering their HP to 0 wins. But rather than talking about it, you'll learn more from experience. Try battling and see for yourself. I have no guarantee if I'm going to win this fight, just for what it's worth. I'm going to try anyways. Lowering the foe's stats will put you at an advantage. So he says. Inflicting damage on the foe is the key to any battle. So our speeds are even. If I win, it's going to be very close of a win. Very close of a win, indeed. This should be enough to get me to level 6. What? Unbelievable. I picked the wrong Pokemon. Could be worse, you could have picked Squirtle. Imagine fighting against the Bulbasaur with that. Excellent. If you win, you earn prize money, and your Pokemon will grow. Battle other trainers and make your Pokemon strong. Okay, I'll make my Pokemon battle to toughen it up. Endo, Gramps, smell you later. So, I do have an intention in my head for what Pokemon I do want to actually obtain. And the Pokemon that I want to obtain, well, let's just say, I'll explain a little bit what I mean. The way that I usually go through playing Pokemon games nowadays is I try to go through and switch up my teams. That also implies making sure that whatever Pokemon I have as my final team has not been on my final team before. The Pokemon that I have selected are in that position, but the first one that I'll be able to actually obtain and bring onto the team will not be for a good while. In fact, it won't be until I reach Vermilion City that I won't be able to actually obtain my first teammate Pokemon. I will still try to go through the process of obtaining and catching Pokemon. That's the same thing, obtain and catch. Collecting all the Pokemon so that way I will be able to get some of the things that I have to unlock. Like getting an experience share by getting 50 Pokemon on the Pokedex. Attention on a lot of this may seem a bad suggestion unless you guys specifically want to see it that way. I plan on trying to go through this full playthrough of the series without cutting anything out for the channel. So if you guys instead want me to cut things out so it's only just the main parts, that again would be just a whole comment suggestion thing. Whereas, if you guys do want me to keep going as is, then keep going as is. But one of the things that'll help on this situation with that is, again, comments. Leech Seed. And in addition to the specific Pokemon I do want to use for the final team, I also have an idea for the specific moves I want to also have. Which, again, should be fun, because It's a wide assortment of moves for the wide assortment of Pokemon. And I'll leave it at that. It's a little vague, but Oak's Parcel. So the main premise of which characters I'm going to be doing the voices with, not really voices, just speaking with, are any of the main characters of the series. Gym leaders also included in that factor. And in addition to that, anyone that just be a general character that try to speak along with, like some of the professors, the scientists, or anyone that's just a generic character that stands out a little bit more than the others. Again, if you guys want to see otherwise, let me know. Hey, it was my old Pokemon. I'm just gonna cut through on that because I botched that one too. Of course of habit. Well, it seems to be growing more attached to you. You must be talented as a trainer. You must be talented as a Pokemon trainer. It took me that long to actually mess up. It's not that bad. What's that? You have something for me? Ah, it's the custom Pokeball. I had it on order. Thank you. Gramps. I almost forgot. What did you call me for? Oh, right. I have a request for you. 2. On the desk, there is my invention, a Pokedex. It automatically records data on Pokemon you've seen or caught. It's a high-tech encyclopedia. Endo and Blue, take these with you. I did have to do a small cut there, like a couple second cut. Sorry about that. You can't get detailed data on Pokemon by just seeing them. You must catch them to obtain complete data. So, here are some tools for catching wild Pokemon. When a wild Pokemon appears, it's fair game. Just throw a Pokeball at it and try to catch it. This won't always work, however. A healthy Pokemon can escape. You have to be lucky. To make a complete guide on all the Pokemon in the world, that was my dream. But I'm too old. I can't get the job done. So, I want you two to fulfill, that's a tongue twister, my dream for me. Get moving, you two. This is a great undertaking in Pokemon history. Alright, Gramps, leave it to me. Leave it all to me. Sorry about that. Endo, I hate to say it, but you won't be necessary for this. I know, I'll borrow a town map from my sis. I'll tell her not to lend you one. Endo, ha ha ha. Don't bother coming around to my place after this. Well, off to visit your mother. I'm actually going to go right over there to that. Grandpa asked you two to run an errand? Gee, that's lazy of him. Here, this will help you. Town map. You can use the town map to find out where you are, or check the names of places. So one thing specifically I also need to point out that I will be holding off on until I actually obtain it is going to be hidden items. I'm going to wait till I get the item fighter later in the game, and then I'll actually find the items that way. With a reason, of course. The main reason being is, say that there's other people that are wanting to try to play this game for the first time. Whether it would be through just an emulator, or through specifically just playing a physical cartridge if you're lucky to get a hand on it. I kind of want to leave this as a basis of also being able to showcase and teach, kind of. I know that there's websites that people can use for that. That's fine. If they want to do that with it, that's good. If people want to see someone actually go through everything with it, then that's good too. So, I'm doing this to give myself the option to have myself count towards that. If that makes sense. I'll probably save dealing with nicknames for now. Unless, again, you guys want me to give a specific nickname. This isn't being done live. Well, live stream-wise, I mean. So, everything is up to everyone's potential for what they would like. Another hard challenge that's going to be a little bit different to what I'm used to dealing with is going to be something that I was trying to shoot for, and that is to kind of cut out swearing. We'll see how well that works. But anyone that knows the regular channel knows that swearing was very prevalent. I kind of want to make this an area where it's a little bit safer. Jokes will still be in there and some raunchiness, but just kind of making things a little bit safer. And don't even get me started on kids. I say that because YouTube makes things very tricky, and I could play this out so that way people are able to watch this regardless of who they are. The problem on that is what YouTube does to those channels as a result. So I'll push around the thoughts of this being kid-friendly. I know that's kind of tricky to kind of go into details and explain. I mean, it's its own giant, massive can of worms as a result, too. I'll at least still go through and find items that are baseline items. What I mean by that is this. But stuff that's like hidden, that needs the item finder. Those I will skip. Now, there's a good number of Pokemon that are in the grass over here that are different to the other areas. Whether or not I'll be able to find them is a different story. How I want to play these out as well is also going to vary. And some of it will depend, again, on you guys. The main idea for what I was shooting for is some of what I usually shoot for when I've tried to do something Pokemon related in the past. I try to go it on an hour basis. Which that's a lot of time, I know. But then the thought process comes in on, do I want to do it then based on half an hour basis? Which is usually a good benchmark situation for where people's attentions go towards. So, I don't know how to actually go about that. Because I could do it as an hour basis. But if that ends up screwing up the potential in the beginning, then how does it play out? So what I think I'm going to do is play this through as a half an hour basis, or just shy of half an hour. Think of it pretty much the equivalent of normal runtime on a TV show. Usually if you're watching a show on TV, it's half an hour anyways. And at least in this case, unless YouTube does something to this channel, or it eventually gets turned on with it, this shouldn't get ads. So I mean, hey, you get a half an hour of a TV show with no ads. All for free. No money cost for that. What's the beat for that? You can't really beat that. Of course, if people do want me to change the nicknames for stuff, it won't be until much later once I get to Lavender Town. Most people should know where Lavender Town is already. I digress. Because again, this could be someone's first attempt of watching this. I don't know. I can't judge people. I got the right to judge people with this specific channel. My other channel, different story. No restrictions. There's a couple things that I'm trying to do here, also for what it's worth. One of the main key things that's going on is trying to get Bulbasaur at least leveled up to a certain point. So that way, at least one of the next things I'll do afterwards is made a little easier. That was a weird sound. I'll have to listen more closely again when that happens. You guys hear that too, right? Like a little static sound after I hit a button. Kind of a little bit out of topics that I'm going to cover this time. I mean, there are things that I could discuss right now, but I figured maybe some of that could be more for next time when we talk about stuff. I mean, it'd be nice to give a little bit of variety on each specific episode. Maybe that's actually something else I can discuss right now too. The duration for how these would get uploaded. So usually on my original channel, whenever I upload videos, it usually takes place at 2:00 p.m. Eastern. And that's just been a usual staple for that. I need to figure out what would probably be a decent enough time to watch, well, have people watch stuff this way. Also, I need to exit very quickly because my Bulbasaur almost fainted there. Good thing I only can go right there. So, that being something else that also comes to mind for what might make sense duration-wise for when to watch stuff. I mean, what I think I probably will do is not upload it at 2 p.m. Eastern, because that's literally the same time that it normally would be uploaded for my actual channel. And if I do ever get back into the swing of uploading on a regular basis again for the original channel, then that's 2 channels with 2 different sets of videos that conflict with one another. Versus if I have one at 2 and say the other one's at like 5 o'clock Eastern, but 5 might be still... You see what I mean with me trying to figure out the best way to go about this? I want to figure out something that works well for you guys on time. Given the fact that anybody in the world can watch these, that's kind of hard to judge in time. But I'm trying to imagine kind of what little kid me would be like with trying to watch TV shows. Do I want to take the approach of it being a TV show that you watch before you go to school in the morning? Or a TV show that you watch once you get home from school? Or a TV show that you watch once you're about to go to bed? Kind of like that. Kind of like that approach, if that makes sense. If I am lucky on this process, I will be able to actually do the fight that I want to do before I actually end this episode. As if I get lucky on this process. Given at the rate that things are going, I don't think that may be the case, but we shall see. Just given the nature of how things usually run for this game. I'm also still missing a Pokemon. Like, there's one more Pokemon that is in the grass in this area, I'm fairly certain. Let me see real quick. consulting the manual. What I mean by consulting a manual is, I'll save that for another episode explaining about the manual. But I have a book, essentially. So, there's 2 Pokemon that are in this area, I believe. No. There's not. Hold on. Hold on. Am I just being an idiot? I think I am just being an idiot. Yeah, I'm just being an idiot. Don't mind me. Ignore me. At this point, it's literally just a grind fest. So that grind fest will continue for the rest of the series then. If that's okay, at least with you guys. I don't really have too much additional that I want to cover this time around. That was weird. I guess with the epilogue, there's going to be a few instances of something like that happening. It's a really good piece of hardware, but it still has its bugs on stuff. Like, I tried to look into the cheats system for this, and the cheat system doesn't seem to want to actually cooperate as intended. In fact, to say that I think it might be a bit more buggy than it really should have been. But I digress on that. But I guess that's a good reason to do a habit that I pretty much adopted with playing these type of games. And that good habit is always save frequently. We're only 23 minutes into the physical game itself, but we are starting to run down on episode time. There was another Pokemon here, I knew it. It wasn't the one that I thought it was, but it is. Wow. I see how it is. Maybe this will be the end situation for this episode. Me catching Spearow. Ouch. Big ouch. Maybe this will work. It's probably not weakened enough to do it, but it's worth a shot. Do it. Ouch. First faint. That's fine. We're very early in this process, and I know I'm sending out a fighting type against a flying type. But that's what I'm hoping for, just to kind of whittle its health down a little bit. Or not. Okay, that's fine. Goodbye. At least with this routinely absorbing health, it's just gonna slowly whittle away down its health. Gives me more chances to throw out the Pokeball. Come on. End this episode on a high note. Ow. Big ow. Last Pokemon. Come on. Catch. There we go. We can at least end the episode on a high note, despite all the numerous fainting that occurred. But now we have a team of 5 on this process. What the heck am I thinking? So, this will be where I will end off this specific episode. Don't forget, anybody has any specific comments they want to leave, any questions they want to ask me, topics of discussion, anything like that, don't be afraid to leave it in. Unless for some reason you have a really nasty comment on something, then yeah, I'm not going to pay attention on that. I'll flat out just kind of ignore that specific one. But thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.